As at this time, we shall begin with Operation Clean Bamenda. We know very well that the military decided to invade Bamenda, especially the central part of Bamenda, even before the administration decided that no bikes should be found. And so the Amber guys or the separatists also decided that no movement in Bamenda with cars. And so it has made a kind of iron hit iron, where the administration combined with the military are fighting against the separatists with what has been termed as Operation Clean Bamenda. And so on this one-on-one, I want to really talk with the politician on the platform, Mr. Njomo Cyril. If you look at what is happening in the Northwest, what's your take about all this?
I think what is happening in the Northwest and most precisely in Bamenda is a lesson for our democracy. Okay. That those who still think that the imperial system is on need to revise their notebook. Today, I was in a concours preparation class, and we had a topic that is similar to that, whether it is normal that the same weapons that are used to maintain national unity should be used to maintain decentralization. Okay. And you want to see that when we talk of national unity or national integration, the instruments that are used to maintain that a state remain one most of the time is the military, because when you go to our borders, who you find there are the military. You also have the gendarmes that reinforce peace and security, especially for those civilians that are using white weapons or arms. And the police are there to make sure that penal issues are addressed. But when you come to local decentralized units, basically with the law of 17 December 1991 and 1996, which when we talk about local administration, is at the level of the region and the local community, which are the councils. So the case of Bamenda falls there. It is a case of a region this time around, a region that for over 4 years with the Southwest are revendicating to the government a certain rights, historical rights, that step to their culture, that of indirect rule, where they were used to administer their resources for the well-being of their citizens. Because practically what we are talking here is devolving power in a way that the laws that are given to the popular, that is resources, are shared to the people. Let the well-being of the people step from the redistribution of their resources. That is the basic of all these things. And so, recently, we had a joint force between the military, the penitentiary, and the judicial police to track down, any perpetrator of violence. Let's put it like that. And this decision was arrived following a number of incidents that we earlier discussed here, notably the killing of a police officer, but also some rampant killing that has been happening in Bamenda, the robbing of bank institution, and the prevailing observance of Ghost Town, which now is actually the question, the hot cake, the main issue on the table is that of the Ghost Town. Despite all government efforts, according to pundits of the regime, to appease the environment, they are still very surprised that the people still observe Ghost Town. And so to them, they are becoming more and more certain that the people are hiding this armed civilian among them.
But the governor just announced
that they are allied.
The Ghost Town is ended, and that's all about it.
We are moving. I think we are still talking, and I'm going to prove to you by A plus B that it is the separatists that are ruling the Northwest. I think that will come in part of my discussion. I'll prove to you how the separatists are ruling the Northwest. Now, I was on the process to explain to you what is happening, and so the government is taken by shock, by fear. That what is really happening? We go on air, sometimes we go and even clean the city, natural cleaning. We have seen cases in Bamenda where the military are picking garbages. We have seen situations where the military have come out and spoken to the people. We have seen scenario where the military have given first aid assistance, humanitarian assistance. We have seen situations where the military have taken children of ex-fighter or current fighter, taking charge of them. We have seen it over the media. But still, the people are still respecting the order of the separatists. And so the government is embarrassed. And so when they came out with this, when they arrived this final decision to clean Bamenda, at the first instance, I personally thought that the military have converted now to sanitary agents, that they are going to go around the street of Bamenda with brooms lorry or trucks to pick dirt all over. In short, I even thought that they will extend to agriculture and start farming so that the people will be fed. But surprisingly, it was a move to track down the population. It was a move to force the population to act according to their will. It was a move to stop Ghost Town. And since they took that decision, it was aimed at defining the role of Ghost Town on Mondays. It was aimed at giving guarantee to the people why they should move out on Mondays. But the people instead took it that, and when the government came out with that decision, when the military came out with that decision, separatists also decided that, okay, since you people want to come to our own method, we are going to give a 2 weeks or 3 weeks lockdown completely. And as if it was a joke, the days that are unfolding, the people are not coming out. Since 3 days now, it's been reported that instead, people are, Bamenda is very broad. It's a baseline. It's not like Boya, that is a single road. Yeah. So people are infiltrating villages and looking for different journeys to fly to Nigeria. Some are coming to Douala. And the government, the military is shocked. And now he has brought the governor out. The governor, even trying to intimidate, is confused. Because he doesn't know whether he should blame the military for taking that move, or he should go in individual houses and beat the people out of their houses. Which I'm telling you, Bamenda is deserting day after day. Okay. Our friends that have been publishing from Bamenda, for most, we have not really received their posts for these last 3 days. Either they are on their way migrating to a different territory, or life is just unbearable. They don't have money to put internet. At this junction, is the people that are suffering, Mr. Nwambo. Okay. Because the people for 3 days now have not been able to go for their activities, for those who are businessmen, for those who are working, and so much other things. And we are talking at a time where back to school is in 1 week.
Okay, let me just take this one. It says Operation Clean Bamenda is not helping. It's a strategy that will instead make the common man to suffer. People are already crying foul, I think so. People are already crying of hunger with Operation Clean Bamenda. It makes their town more ghosted. Okay, maybe we'll be taking more of these messages. Now,
anything that comes from the government is de facto resisted. And what's still again when it's the military? They're supposed to have understood that by now. But I'm surprised that such a stubborn government don't want to understand that any move that they take, the people will naturally resist. Not because they are in connivance with the separatists, not forcefully, but because they think that the grievances that they have been carrying over the years have not been approached in the right manner. Anything that is done in a cosmetic manner, not to give a lasting solution to their problem. And they think that if they just give in to the government measures to appease the environment, definitely all these years and life that have been wasted will be of no essence. Between you and me, I was talking of the first anniversary of the major national monologue that took place in Yaoundé. Have you seen any fallout? More and more, they are promising us that the special status that will be concretized with the regional election that is upcoming on December 6th is going to polish things. It's not the first time we are living on slogans. As I talk to you, 7 ministers were in the far north, but the mayor of that community where they went was he calling on media today that they should help because the population have been calling for assistance. They are practically sleeping on the streets because we are being fed by slogans. Minister move there, bought some few bags of rice and order, get to the people that could only sustain them for one day. One day after they have gone back to their normal status, they are hungry, they don't have a settlement, and it is the same thing down here. The people don't want to yield into those kind of makeshift, cosmetic move that will give scenery for a time, and after they are going to plunge back into their misery. What stop authorities, for example, because this is the problem we are suffering. Yeah. Do you know that even in the regional election that has been announced, before local decentralized authority want to take power, I'm talking about the regional coordinator of the region that will be elected, before he takes certain power in recruitment, in partnership between councils, in provision of water, electricity, light, internet, in the construction of road, he needs to seek the authorization of the Minister of Local Decentralization and something that was created in 2019. Those are some of the things.
Decentralization and local development.
And local development, thank you. Those are some of the things we are denouncing. That we cannot be talking about devolving power to the local decentralized units, and at the same time we are maintaining their ministry of tutor to be there to supervise their activities.
Okay, Mr. Njomosiri, don't you think that every good thing starts with a kind of struggle before it succeeds? Because if you look at it, when late Mayor Ikem of Buea started with this idea of no bike, you know, he faced a lot of difficulty, but if you look at it today, we enjoy some peace, some security in Buea. Don't you think that's what is happening in Bamenda?
You kind of put me at the tight end there because, going by the issue of the bike, we want to believe that as of now it's working because we hardly see bike riding in Buea in all the junctions, and one could have the impression that it's working. But I will not be as naive as that to think that the fact that they are not moving really shows that they are satisfied with the decision that was taken, or that it has appeased the environment. Maybe it's a fear of oppressor, of punishment, that they are not coming out.
The few separatists that were caught maybe killed, especially General Mad Dog. Don't you think that because the bikes were stopped and there was no way for him to escape?
And that is why he was killed? No. Even fugitives in their run, they know that they could be picked up at any time. And so it was just his day. Like him, so many other generals have died in the struggle. Do you want to say that they died because bikes were stopped? No. I think government government has its own formula that is using, unveiling every day. For we think that they are not proactive enough. They are very reactive. It's only when the secretive carry certain acts that they follow them. And everything is being done now for back to school. You want to see that even if this synergy between the various arms of the military had to come together for a peace building process, an immediate one, is definitely because back to school is 2 weeks ago, and they are doing everything possible that parents will start preparing a student for school. But now that is turning to a fiasco, because it's a fiasco. If people are instead migrating out of Bamenda at a time where they want them to prepare for back to school, the Bamenda will finally be left for university lecturers, civil servants, and maybe the military and other authorities.
If you criticize the measures taken by the administration and the military to clean Bamenda, now the governor has just announced that that decision taken at the center of Bamenda will extend in all the areas in the region. What's your take about that?
He personally knows that the exacerbation of the crisis cannot make that decision practical. Okay, the crisis has escalated in a level, at a particular level, that the people now grow grievances from their mind. And they could be talking with you and they have that grievance. So you are not very sure. There's a growing element of mistrust where more and more
the people have a malice working with a government that does not have a genuine intention. It's as if your wife have already told you that she's going to divorce you, but you people are keeping together because you people have a marriage certificate. So that is the feeling now in the house. And even the governor himself knows that he comes out and make those statements like that just to galvanize the troops, galvanize the military who are still on the front at the
But
front
he says
line.
he will provide buses
But
that
to
will
say
take
that,
people
but
to
to say
those.
that I am against the move, I will take exception of that. What I think is that I'm an observant. I'm seeing that the horse was placed, the camel was placed before the horse, and is making it very difficult for milestone to be achieved. For example, if the people were coming out to go for their activities, buy and sell and go to buy their goods and sell, businessmen go, workers go, it could have been history. But at the time where, for example, for yesterday, it was reported that between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning, gunshot was alarming the environment. And this, we have witnessed it sometime here in Buea, where the military take upon himself to spend the whole night shooting as to create panic. And I think the psychologists who always accompany us on the platform always make it clear that when the people have dinosaurs in their mind, when they are not satisfied, when they are not sure of the next move, they prefer to stay back. And maybe that is the other effect of all those gunshots that the military keeps sending on.
Mentioning that, I would just want to say I greet Dr. Busi Ernest. We pray that you get well so soon. We hear you are not feeling fine.
Yes, I was explaining that is one of the reasons that can keep people back home. It must not necessarily mean that the people are abiding to the rules of the separatists, because it's not the separatists that put food on their table. But instead to go out and lose your life because maybe a careless military person wanted to shoot on air and the bullet just missed the trap and it picked through, you will only have yourself to blame. We still have cases of a certain divisional officer that fired bullet on his girlfriend, and up to today he has not been called to book. Instead, the recent appointment that took place, he was appointed to a different place. And we have had cases that we had a case, for example, in Bolova, where a divisional officer invited a journalist in his house, and the following morning he was sending the journalist cop with a 4x4 car to go to the family. And we have had scenarios like that the government have not practically called to book. The Ngabu incident, up to today, they only told us that they will pick some individuals, some identified individuals that were involved in the crime, but up to today they have not come to the media and show them, as they always show bandits on media. We want to have a report of all the incidents that have happened in our country before, so that we can trust the government in the move. So you will not sit here and start asking me that I should trust the military because they say they want sanity in the house, they want appeasement, that truly they are out for that. People are fear of their life because one only lives once, and so they cannot take the risk to move out.
But if you talk of fear, don't you think that because the strategy they are taking, if you look at, let me say, Southwest, especially Fako Division to an extent, you see that the ghost town is no more a kind of thing to talk about. Don't you think that the fear factor among the people in the Northwest is causing all this?
Well, I'm not very sure that the issue of ghost town is a taboo topic in the Southwest, because we are still talking about it and we always talk about it. The semblance of life that we are currently witnessing here does not in any way guarantee that peace has regained fully. Even the various peace caravan I'm seeing around, some are makeshift, some are cosmetic, some have well-planned intention under the Jacobin government, and it does not really give us the impression that peace has regained the land. So the element of fear, yes, I can say that in Buea particularly, the element of fear has reduced because we have not had the kind of rampant gunshots that Bamenda City is currently having. And that is where I want to call the military in question, that they should be able, when they give their order, to control their element on the field, because some at times take the law into their hand. When they are firing those bullets up, To them, they think they are creating an atmosphere of tension that is going to make separatists to reveal themselves when they come for exchanges. But beside that, you also create the psychosocial denouncers that I was revealing previously here. That has further created the people an uncertain environment, and they better run for their dear life. I told you that people are running through the various neighborhoods in Bamenda, moving out of Bamenda through Manfe, through Buddha, Babuntos. They are looking for their way out. And the earlier the government stop this firing bullet on air, the better, because if not, Bamenda will be deserted, and I don't know what.
Mr. Njomosiri, because I'm taking an example of, because if you look at Southwest is brother to Northwest. True. Let's put it that way. But if you look at the peace that reigns now in most parts of Southwest, because it is said that the first security of each person is himself. True. But don't you think that the Southwesterners have decided to be their first security? But that's what is lacking in the Northwest.
Oh, you bring another topic. We should be able to establish it very clear that it's not all part of the Northwest that is in chaos. We have had a community like Kumbo. Kumbo has never, for the past 4 years, they are going to school with their Honorable Ngala, Gerard, which is not my friend.
In the center of Kumbo.
Yes, it's not my friend, but yes. I want to seize this opportunity to greet him. To say that, no, it's not the whole of Northwest that is in total chaos. That is an environment that I've started in Ndonga Mantu. So there are other communities, even neighboring to Kumbo, that are in danger because at the very early hour of the crisis, they lack genuine leaders that could stand for them and advocate for peace. You know, most of the communities today that you are claiming that they are regaining negative peace. Okay. We should say that they are negative peace in quote, meaning a kind of peace that is just surfacing.
It's a time bomb.
Yeah, you could. It's a time bomb peace. And so it's because peace crusaders have come up in those communities and championed certain causes. Okay, including you and I, what we do here every day, kind of sensitizing people to drop arms and to take the media. When they say freedom of expression, you have grievances against somebody, you go and express yourself to that person. Let's exchange, let's debate over things, and let the person with the most legitimate solution prevail. And again, I want to say that even in the Southwest, we still have term community. When you take community, for example, like Lebi Allen, you have been told that traditional rulers there practically have been substituted. We know of generals that are there holding their meeting with the indigene, and they are practically talking in their vernacular, and you could think that is already an administration working with the subject. So I don't take it in total that there is total peace in the Southwest, and I do not also buy into that the whole Northwest is in chaos.
Okay, before we go for a short break, just about 2 questions again. If you look at the Northwest, Clean Bamenda Clean, if you look at it very well, okay, the governor has said buses will be made available to take people to the suburb where the bikes are limited. Now, how possible do you see this? Because it's quite wide, how many buses do you think can do this?
It's really funny. I'm sorry for the governor that will tell him that the measure is good, but it cannot be practical. We have long expected them to come out with urban transport mechanism. For example, like the provision of buses and other that could be transporting even our students from one community to the other and so on. It's not today that we have started asking that. Even here in the neighboring Douala, is because of the absence of those buses that the emergence of bike riders came up. Before some years like 1998, we did not have a lot of bike riders in town. Maybe the few that existed in Cameroon were in Douala. And it's the government that allowed China to start shipping those bikes in the country, because they discovered that. I want to remind you, Cameroon, that from 2011 and now we are in very soon 2021. There are 3 epochs in the job sector that we must always mark, because all those epochs comes with crisis around the world. In early 2001, it was the crisis, the Wall Street crisis. In 2011, it was the petroleum crisis, and very soon in 2021, you will have the corona crisis that is coming up. So there is a serious unemployment rate at that particular time, and the government is looking for measures to compensate. So I'm bringing all this analysis to prove that the governor's outing
was is a way to assure his boss in Yaoundé and the Minister of Territorial Administration that he is still mastering the situation. But where will he take bosses? Government don't own any company in this country that hire boss. I know there's
they have, in their last report, they were instead showing that they have not paid their workers. Their workers are having arrears, just like municipal councillors that were elected, including mayors, for the 10th legislation. Those who were elected recently in February 9 have not received salary for 6 months now. So it's to tell you that the government is not really a government that have money kept somewhere and is very sure that they can make available buses as we talk. We saw when we were organizing the African Cup of Nations, they had to go and borrow buses that came in the country, and most of them were not in good health. So the governor of the Southwest of the Northwest cannot come out and start lying to the people. Even if they make provision those buses, they will not be up to 10. And you and I, we know the population of Bamenda, even though many are migrating following the gunshots that they are receiving, I'm not sure that that measure is going to substitute effectively the bike, the presence of the bike in those various communities. And I want to seize this opportunity again to invite the government of Mr. Biya that it's never too late to take the right decision. At this particular time, what the population of the Northwest is asking them is to stop firing gun on air. It's not necessary. Okay? As for the population revealing the presence of separatists among them, that would take the government to take a genuine course. You cannot force that out of the people. We know in an asymmetric war, you don't know who is who, except you want to exterminate the population of Bamenda if you want to force that the military rule must prevail. But if truly the government have the people of the Northwest at heart, then the kind of measure that he or she takes should not be a measure to create panic, but to guarantee trust.
Okay, before we take the last question, which we are going to talk on the prophecy of Apostle Professor Johnson Suleman in Nigeria, and that so many people are saying it has come to pass. This one says Operation Clean Bamenda is not helping. It's a strategy that will instead make the common man to suffer. People are already crying for hunger, and it makes the economy goes dead more. Okay. Then the second person here says, this operation Clean Bamenda will lead to fear. It will lead to nervousness on the people, and there will be mental instability in minds of the people. Okay, thank you very much, our viewers, for your contribution. Okay, let's take this last one. Last time what is going on the social media now of Apostle Professor Johnson Suleman, who prophesied, who talked